Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I said good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Craig Knight. I'm General Manager of Power 88, your soul school station. You can show us some love. I know we played y'all PSAs, so show us some love. But it's 9 o'clock and we're starting on time. Amen. And right now, I'd like to introduce one of the organizers from Our Own Voices magazine. Please show some love for Mr. Rodney C. Smith.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today. You know, history may have been made this morning, and you all were a part of that history. So thank you so much for bringing history to this boulevard on this particular day. We have a few housekeeping things to do. One of them is, please make your way to your seats. Please make your way to your seats. If you need to get some water, by all means, we have water. We will have a presentation of the colors for the gentlemen that's in the audience. For the gentlemen that are in the audience, when we present the colors and sing the National Anthem and the African American Anthem, please remove your hats. So now I would like to introduce another history maker, Councilwoman from Ward 2, North Las Vegas, which we are in right now, I believe. Mrs. Pamela Goynes-Brown will welcome you all.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Those were the words echoed 50 years ago to date on August 28, 1963, to an audience of over 200,000 people on the steps of the famous Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Good morning to everyone. Good morning. I am Pamela Goynes-Brown, Councilwoman for the City of North Las Vegas. I am here this morning bringing you greetings on behalf of the mayor and my fellow city council members. I am so elated to be before you this great day because this famous statue stands in the heart of Ward 2, the ward that I humbly serve and represent. We are here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the historic March on Washington. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has paved the way for people like you and me to be able to stand before you today, knowing that we are the proud people that we are. 50 years ago, I was barely 1 year old. Although I do not remember this historic day, I do know that my parents instilled in their children the beliefs of Dr. King and taught us what it meant to be proud of whom we are. They taught my brother, my sister, and myself to always believe in ourselves and that we could accomplish anything that we had in our dreams of becoming what we want to in life. At the age of 33, Dr. King was pressing the cases of civil rights with President John F. Kennedy. When he was 34, he galvanized the nation with his iconic I Have a Dream speech. At age 35, he won a Nobel Peace Prize. At the young age of 39, he was assassinated. But he left a legacy and hope of inspiration that continues today. I share those ages with you to let you know, young people, that you can do anything that your heart desires. Dr. King was a great man, and we are celebrating what he did for all of us in this great country. Dr. King's work was about the oppression of black people, not only in America, but black people around the world regarding civil rights for all human beings. This is what this march was all about 50 years ago today, and somewhat what we are still facing in today's society. I welcome you, and let's all join in keeping celebrating the legacy of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by keeping his dream alive and instilling his dreams in our children and generations to come. I applaud all of you for being here today, and thank you for continuing the beliefs set here on this historic occasion. And please, please remember, we will still be able to join in hands and sing the words of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. God bless you all, and God bless this great nation of ours. Thank you.
Sleeping in bed, going back thinking, thinking ahead.
That's right, the world has changed. But it hasn't seen change like what it's about to see. Because if you all can get up this early on a Saturday morning and march down MLK with traffic, what can't you do? You know, this is a time where we get to do something that should be very important to each one of you. And that's pay respect to the flag that so many have shed blood for. That so many have sacrificed so much for. So at this time, I would like for everyone to please stand. If you have any audio devices like cell phones or any other listening devices, this would be a great time to silence them now. For the gentlemen who are wearing hats, this would be a great time to remove your hats. Shortly, we're going to have the presentation of the colors by the Nellis Air Force Base Honor Guard. Please remain standing while they present the colors. While they present the colors, Miss Lourlily Scarlett will give her rendition of the National Anthem. She will be followed by Miss Keeisha Renee with Lift Every Voice and Sing. And let me tell you, you have never heard it sung like what you are about to hear today. And then I would like for you to continue standing so that we can bless this monumental occasion by Dr. Glories Powell.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light Let every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Bring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the darkness has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Oh, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Till victory won, yeah. Let us march on till victory won, yeah.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Dr. Glories Powell.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we do thank you. We come before you with humble hearts and lifted heads and hands, and we thank you. We thank you as we've assembled here to celebrate the legacy of the life of a man that you have established to change the course of America, that forged a path, that trailblazed a place of opportunity that we could all go through, minorities and all people, and that was an inspiration for men and women of the clergy, that opened doors of opportunity that even women could take their place in the pulpits and follow their dream. We thank you today that that legacy resonates in this place today, and so does your presence, because as you established him, you've established us. And as you are the only one that can make a man free, but you put a voice on a mountaintop that we could look up and listen, and we could follow and achieve the height of that very same mountain. Now thank you. Bless every song, bless every word, bless every message, bless everybody, and let your freedom ring, and let the power of what you can do through a man resonate through us all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord. You may have your seats in the presence of the Lord. Okay, let's put our hands together for the great national anthem, and the Black National Anthem, done in a unique way that's never been heard before. Miss Keeisha Renee, and I have to say this, she also tours with Nicki Minaj. She sings background for Nicki Minaj, for all you young people out there. That's right, give it up. And she lives right here in Las Vegas. And you will be hearing that song on Power 88, all right. Coming up next on the program, we have Senator Joe Neal.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was asked to introduce my dad. So the first speaker who's going to frame this message is retired Senator Joe Neal. And I just want to say that one thing that's good about him is he's the best half of me, and my mother is the other best half of me. She passed away in '97. But I want him to come to the podium and help to frame this message for today. And so we're going to have retired Senator Joe Neal come to the podium.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Of course, when that creed was written, it didn't include women, but since I saw all these Delta traits out here, I got to include that. So if you believe in your country, you believe in your country, you want to do what you would do if you love your country. You would try to create a more perfect union. You would try to establish justice. You would try to ensure domestic tranquility. And you would provide for the common defense and promote the general welfare and secure the blessing of liberty for yourselves and your posterity. That is the preamble to the Constitution, and that is the meaning of government. And that's what Martin Luther King was talking about. We're trying to get us to see and understand that if this is our country, we're not going anywhere. Even though we might love Africa, but we ain't going back there. I just talked to my friend Frank Hawkins the other day. He took a trip to Nigeria. He said he didn't care too much about it because the amenities were not like what you have in this country. And those that we have helped to build in this country, we want to stay and enjoy those. So we have to fight for those rights and continue to fight for those rights. So that is the transitions, my friend, that we are talking about in this 50-year celebration of the march. Martin taught us not to fear, not to fear. For those of you who happened to be at the library the other day, I cited John Keats, a line from his Elizabeth sonnet, which says, "When you fear, you cease to exist. When you fear, you cease to exist." We will exist because we will not fear any longer what we are about and what we are supposed to do in this country, and we will protect it, and we will protect our rights. And those that we have gained so far, we will protect those, and those that we have not achieved thus far, we will go out and fight for those too. So ladies and gentlemen, that iteration that I gave you at the beginning of my short talk was one that was cited by Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence. It lived with us today. It lived with us today. That we are created equal. That we are created equal. So understand that as we move forward in the next 50 years, and we pass it on to our children and our grandchildren, that this is our country, and we will keep it our country, and nobody going to run us away. And those brothers and sisters who are now fighting to come here, let's open the door too for them, because look, the Irish, the Germans, and whatever you want to call it for the other country, they came here too, you know. But what they did, they found us here. We ain't going nowhere. So we stayed and helped build this country, and the roads and the amenities that you see throughout here, we helped to build. So we're going to stay and enjoy them and hope that others will come along and enjoy those too. So ladies and gentlemen, understand what you are about. Understand what your rights are about, and fight for those rights. Stand up and be counted. Stand up for justice. Stand up for prosperity. And build for the future generation. Thank you very much.
Retired Senator Joe Neal. Coming up next, we have the representation from our Congressman Horsford's office. Please welcome Mr. Dietrich Sanford.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is a great day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Because God gave us a nice little overcast as we're standing out here for this morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dietrich Sanford, and I am the Senior Community Liaison for our very own Congressman Stephen Horsford, amen, yes. Congressman Horsford is unable to join us here today as he is actually in Washington, D.C. participating in the march. But he is our first African-American elected to Congress representing the state of Nevada. And he is honored, truly honored, to serve, march, and stand beside a number of community advocates in D.C. As we reflect on this monumental anniversary in Black history, we can never fail to realize that the pioneers whose shoulders our Congressman is standing on. A young man like Congressman Horsford is standing on shoulders of the individual I was preceded by, like Senator Neal. The individuals that are in the crowd here, like Mr. Goins, Miss Sarah Knight Preddy, and Miss Ruby Duncan, who had the audacity to walk some of us down and stop and to fight for rights here for the individuals in our community. Those are the shoulders of individuals like the young 40-year-old Congressman Horsford is standing upon this day. But it was the sleepless nights of individuals here locally that allowed that generation, this generation, to be able to fight and stand for our rights, for social justice, and because these are just the right things to do. As Congressman Horsford stands alongside a gentleman by the name of John Lewis in D.C. today, yes, one of those prolific speakers that was actually slated this day 50 years ago, who was a freedom rider and stood for the rights of our people. Congressman Horsford is proud to stand alongside and serve with those individuals as he continues to represent this 4th Congressional District. Representation like Congress has never seen before for this community. He continues to fight alongside organizations like the NAACP, the National Urban League, and many others as we review low-level drug offenders. We support Eric Holder in his comments to make sure that we're able to pull more young people or more individuals out of the penitentiary system and the justice system there. As he continues to support the need of affordable health care for our community, for all in this community, and for most of all, representing the needs of you, the constituents of Nevada's 4th Congressional District. As we gather here today, please be reminded that we have come a long way, but we have a long way to go. And this journey includes you. Thank you.
Yeah, best educated, best prepared troops refuse to fight. Matter of fact, it's safe to say.
One more time for Dietrich Sanford. Coming up next, we have a poet. And before I bring her up, I would like to ask for Assemblyman Harvey Munford to make his way back to this tent. And any performers that's part of the program, we need you to report to my right over here so we can stage you and have you ready, all right? So, please put your hands together for Miss Latoya Thurmond.
Give me a second. I kind of want to look at everybody. I'm actually going to dedicate this poem to my great aunt. She's here. I don't know where my grandfather was born. Couldn't tell you my great-grandmother's last name or whether she married the man that fathered my grandmother. I do know that I have family in Toledo, but I don't know if they've always been there or if they migrated from somewhere else. What I'm saying is that I have little understanding of my family history, essentially no identity. And I'm a firm believer that you can't know where you're going until you know from whence you came. I guess I don't know where I'm going. And there's no map quest to GPS a person's route, so it's up to me to try to untangle the branches of my family tree. I gotta figure this out on my own. This is what it means to be black in America. I'm part of a community that's been physically and psychologically separated from its own history. So it's no wonder we walk around like lost little children, searching for meaning, mimicking and believing traditions handed to us by the ancestors of others. And they say it takes a whole village to raise a child. But how does that work when the entire village consists of orphans? Every day I look in the mirror at a stranger's face, with features whose origin I can't place. I had met a North African man who spoke to me in Arabic once. He spotted my full lips and high cheekbones and mistook me for one of his own. My name and natural curly hair give me an Afro-Cuban flair. I've had plenty expect me to be of Spanish descent. Even my own can't place me. My cinnamon-hued skin makes them assume that I am mixed. I'm not. Even though my great-grandmother was half white with red hair and freckles, both my parents are black. And at the end of the day, I have no idea if any of these assigned identities apply to me. I don't know who I am. The fact that I stand here admitting that I don't know who my people are, that I don't know who I am, makes me painfully ashamed. I envy Latinos whose last name established their lineage. That's powerful. We don't even have that. I want to trace my family history, but I don't know how far back I can go. Slavery, I'm sure, but I know that there's so much more to my ancestry. In the meantime, I can grow my hair natural, wear kente cloth, and decorate my body with Ndinka symbol war paint, whose words, excuse me. In the meantime, I can grow my hair natural, wear kente cloth, and decorate my body with Ndinka symbol war paint, in words and languages I can't even pronounce, whose meaning are explained in oral traditions I wasn't around to hear. This is how I connect with the motherland, or as much as any foster child can. I can claim Africa as though I don't know that my people's influence spans the globe. My roots could have sprouted from any one of these continents. I see confusion in myself and so many in my community. We are not in touch with ourselves. A lack of understanding that perpetuates self-hate and self-destruction. We are regressing, moving so far away from what? We don't even know. I stand here, an abandoned child birthed by generations of lost souls. And like any orphan, I adapt to the ways of my foster parents while secretly seeking my true mother, hoping that when I dig up the roots and clear the branches of my family tree, she will embrace me. And having understood from whence I came, I can finally know where I'm going. Amen. Thank you. Yeah.
Miss Latoya Thurmond, one more time. Okay, before this next gentleman come up, I have to adjust this tent. Because he is like really tall. And we don't want him to hurt himself because we have your fault insurance.
I'm gonna remember that one.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our very own Assemblyman, Mr. Harvey Munford.
Thank you. I want to extend my appreciation to the group and organization and Mr. Williams for giving me this opportunity to say these few words. A lot of you probably, what I'm going to tell you today is sort of a little history about me and what I have endured as a young black man at the time of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. As I look around the crowd, I can tell many of you that were not even born at the time of the speech, I Have a Dream speech. So let me take a minute to tell you about the memories of that event to me. In August 1963, I was a student at Montana State University in Billings, Montana. I don't know if any of you have ever been that way or ever had the opportunity to visit. Montana, though, is a very